so Jennifer Garcia is the wife of this guy, and she's the one who had basically reached out to law enforcement and said, I need some protection here because I'm really concerned about him hurting me. There were some graphic descriptions of what she alleged. And so she went on, I believe, one of those morning shows, one of those network morning shows. Maybe it was ABC. I can't keep them straight. It was either, I think it was ABC. Good Morning America. And she went on television today and she couldn't say a thing. Like, she's literally deer in the headlights when they ask her about this. And it's like, come on, guys. Did nobody even prep her for that question? And you know what's really annoying? The reporter, watch what he does. Watch what he does. This tells you everything about, once again, how they're trying to control the narrative because he gives her this opportunity. Look what she does and his reaction. We're going to watch it together.
And how did you learn that he was detained?
He made a phone call to me, and what we thought was a regular traffic stop was not a regular traffic stop.
And we know that the administration, they're resisting a court order to bring your husband back to the U.S. They say your husband's a member of the MS-13 gang. Is he a member of the MS-13 gang or any other gang?
No, he's not.
Okie dokie. Did you hear him say, like, this was like fragile territory, no-go territory? Oh, I guess we can't talk about that? Heck yeah, you ought to be able to talk about it. She says nothing. She's just waiting. You don't bother following through. As a journalist, it tells you so much you need to know about ABC News. I mean, here we are yet again looking at such an incredibly biased media. I don't know why he wouldn't say, hey, like, can you explain why you won't talk about it? Instead, he just left it dangling out there, and we don't know. But she clearly doesn't want to go there. This is like raw, no-go territory, and he didn't bother. He didn't bother to say boo, despite all of what we know now about her allegations about her husband. Here's the real photo I wanted to show you. So when I say it was a PR trap, with the margaritas and the whole 9 yards, this is the real one. This is Van Hollen. They're sitting with this gentleman believed to be an MS-13 gang member, and it is now just captured the country because it calls into question, okay, well, what do you do with somebody who is here illegally, is accused of a crime, is not allowed out on bail because it's believed he's a gang member, and then is somehow applying for some kind of asylum based on his fear for his life because of gangs in El Salvador? I hate to say this, and maybe we need to change the asylum rules. I don't think we do, but I'm just saying, because legally speaking, there's like two ways you qualify for asylum. You can qualify because of political prosecution or because of religious prosecution, but you're not going to qualify just because you live in a hellhole that has no economic opportunity and for which you feel extremely endangered. I mean, the south side of Chicago, you might feel really, really endangered there, but that's that, right? You live in El Salvador. I'm sorry, it's not perfect. It sounds kind of mean to say, but how are we supposed to take in everyone from all over the world? Really? Okay, so this is the fake picture. This is the margaritas, but you got to hand it to them. It was kind of funny. Oh, you want to speak about funny? You want to speak about actually really handing it to these guys? I got to show you a picture from the White House. So, of course, we know where the media is on all of this, do we not? Well, the media is releasing headlines that the White House, of course, sees as very biased. So I want to share with you what they put out earlier today. Voila. Okay, so this was the New York Times headline. It's just kind of funny, where they're writing, Senator meets with wrongly deported Maryland man in El Salvador. Now, they're kind of saying, okay, maybe there was a mess up on the paperwork, but we actually feel because he was here illegally, we had the right to deport him. So that's kind of a sticking point. And they're like, hey, New York Times, guess what? We corrected it for you. Oh, and by the way, Chris Van Hollen, he's not coming back. Everybody's up in an uproar. Oh my gosh. Well, guess what? He's already back. He's already out doing his press conference. Media, that he is. So they got a red pen out and they said, Senator meets with, and they crossed out wrongly, meets with deported. They took out Maryland man, MS-13 gang member in El Salvador, who's not coming back. So they're having a little bit of fun with it too. And, it's sad. I mean, I get it. These are people's lives. But Van Hollen is really just taking this side that I don't think the rest of America is really embracing, because Donald Trump was elected for a reason. He was elected because people wanted a cleanup of these issues. And so when you look at all the polls show that Donald Trump is getting the support of the American people when it comes to deporting criminals, and even on this issue as well. I mean, here was Harry Anton on CNN the other day saying, listen, you guys all keep talking about MAGA voters no longer supporting Trump in light of some of the recent events, including this. And you are so dead wrong. Like, he's sick of hearing it, because actually MAGA voters are with him all the way still.
Let's talk about Trump voters and how they feel. Do they regret their vote?
I mean, this is the big question, right? I hear all these stories, all these articles. All the Trump voters, they regret what they did back in 2024. I'm here to tell you, very few of them regret what they did back in 2024. What are we talking about? Trump voters looking back at 2024. We got a new poll out. The poll was conducted this month. What percentage would change their vote to a different candidate? We're talking just 2%, just 2%. That's not even a wide spot on the road. And then there's this additional 1% who say they would rather not vote. We're talking overall under 5% might or would have changed their vote, Donald Trump voters back in 2024. And then you ask, okay, the same question to Kamala Harris voters, and it turns out the numbers are rather similar. So if there was a repeat, if folks got to be able to redo their vote that they had back in 2024, would the result be any different? I doubt it would be. I doubt it would be, or it would still be extremely close. The bottom line is, for all this talk of Trump voters regretting their vote, in the numbers, it really just doesn't show up, John.
So the stickiness with Trump voters and President Trump in this presidency, how does it compare to his first presidency?
Yeah, okay. So, I was interested in sort of a historical analogy here, sort of, does this look similar or different from back in 2017, looking at 2016? Well, in February of 2017, 4% of Trump voters say they'd shift their vote. That's actually slightly more than the 3% this time around. So, you look back, you say, okay, there's these Trump voters who really regret their vote. Historically speaking, they really don't regret their vote. And if anything, the number this time around is actually smaller than it was the first time around. And it's certainly smaller than the number we saw coming out of 2020, of course, after the events of January 6th. So the bottom line is this. If there's some idea out there that Trump voters are going around, man, I wish I had voted for Kamala Harris instead of Donald Trump, the numbers say that is a fanciful universe. It really, for the most part, does not exist.
What about the...
Yeah, he's right. Like, it is a fanciful universe. And I think that what people just in the Democrat Party are starting to realize increasingly is that the whole point of bringing Donald Trump in was to, one, lessen inflation, which, by the way, he's done. Like, just take a look, right? Like, the egg prices are way down, gas prices are way down. You got oil hanging out at $61 a barrel. I mean, these are numbers we have not seen. Now, hopefully it's because, we're stabilizing here and we're not going into a recession or anything like that, because that would be a whole other can of worms, right? We'll talk about my company, 76 Research, a little bit later. Actually, what the heck? Why not right now? If you're worried about the markets, if you're worried about your portfolio, if you're worried about investing, or you don't even know where to begin on investing, I encourage you to go check out my company that I started with a very dear friend, great money manager, Rob Horton. We started 76 Research together, and we're really there to help you with all this volatility, because we get a heck of a lot of volatility right now. Let's face it. I don't think that's changing. I really don't. But there's ways to take advantage of that, and hopefully we can help you through that.